Life is going to test you, but it should not discourage you because testing is only temporary, but it should not stop you from trying even harder than ever before. Because usually, when we are tested, before that we weren't, and we were comfortable, and we could do more than we could do now when we are tested. And then we look back like, oh, I could have done this back then when I had more time, or you know what I'm talking about for sure. But you cannot control these things that happen and just go with the flow and do the things that God puts the way it is, right? And this test will lead you to failures, but these failures are only a part of your fantastic future that awaits you. Like they say, the failures are only a part of success, and there's a lot of failures until that one success comes. There's a lot of failures, and as well there's a lot of wins until you have that one big success. So until you get that one big W, there's a lot of big W's and losses. But as well, as they say, do not take losses as a loss, but as lessons, which we learn from and we grow from. And eventually, the most important thing I think about all this is your voice in your hand. In your head. It's a little bit late, okay? And the reason why I say this is because that one decision that can change your whole life upside down or up from to down, you know what I mean? The other way around. It's made by your voice in your head. And that voice should be either your best friend or your worst enemy, and sadly it's both. But which one you choose is the one that will literally change your life. Like one simple negative thought can prevent you from your whole different future. Like, can you just stop and think about this, what I'm talking about? Like, you saying no to something, you're saying yes to something, and you're giving up on something because you have this voice in your head that's like, oh, it's enough, man, you don't deserve this, you suck at this, right? You're never gonna be good enough, or this voice that you create is like, okay, just keep going, man. Like, imagine like you always be positive, you don't need anyone. Like, I think David Goggins talks a lot about this. You're always doing it alone. He was always alone, and there was no one. And that when you succeed, you will know that it's all because of you, because of your own voice, because you were your best friend. So befriending yourself and befriending that voice in your head is the thing, number one thing. Because everything is mental, right? Of course, we live in this physical world, right? But everything that we obtain is because of our mentality. Because we are saying to ourselves, like, the decision that you make to go to the gym or to make a healthy choice, to do whatever, right, is because you thought about it first, and then you did it. So before thinking, there's no action. First there's thinking. That's why it's so popular these days, these affirmations and everything. And I think it's important, and it's really important actually, but it's basically like, even if you don't know about this ever, there's persons who never did affirmation in their life. They're never aware of this like concept of affirmations, but they're so successful, right? Because they already are doing it, right? They're already fighting their voice, and they achieved it, and now they're settled, right? But even when there's a lot of stories as well that people who succeed, they oftentimes lose all their money, or they just Like, look at Conor McGregor. Like, he, of course, he's settled and everything, but like, he got caught up in the money, right? Obviously. So it's important to stay humble always, and to remember where you're coming from, and to know that even when tough time comes, a lot of people, like, it's of course not just a fight between you and you, I mean, with your voice. It's also a fight between other people who are constantly telling you that you can't do that, and the reason why they're telling you is because you told them beforehand, which is a bad idea. So you should not tell anyone what you're doing. That's the first thing I can say. But the second thing, if you somehow say, or they just find out because you're just busy, or they're like, what is this guy doing, and you just have to find out if they're living with you or whatever situation you find yourself in. As I said, it's the best to not tell anyone and just to work on it. Like, you should create a YouTube page or something. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna share it with my friend. Don't do that. Like, just keep it, let them find out if you ever be that successful, right? And without you telling them. But yeah, what I was saying is, it's a fight also between you and the people around you, and it doesn't matter if you're friends or enemies, trust me, because at this point, whatever you're trying to do is extraordinary, and they're just ordinary. And if they're ordinary people, they will just think ordinary thoughts, and even if they're your good friend, they will just say things that are not like in alignment with in the way you're thinking. And that's the reason why it's so stupid, at least for me, to say to anyone what you're doing, even if they're good friends. Of course, unless they're a very successful person, they already have what you want, and you want advice from, that's a different story. But you know what I'm talking about. You should just keep it to yourself. It's hard to keep it to yourself. I know it's hard, but it's the best way, trust me. And just keep working, and you know, it's, as Steve Harvey once said, that he knows a lot of nice ordinary people, but if you want to be extraordinary, then you have to do extra. Or as Lao Tzu said, if you don't know the book, pick it up. I forgot the name of the book. It's from Lao Tzu. Just type in Lao Tzu. I will type in description. Let your works remain a mystery. Show only people the results. So yeah, I will end my video here, and I hope you all having a great one.